Welcome to another edition of Inside the Hashes exclusive interviews. Today, I'm Sam Kirk, your host with Parker Durkin from Edina High School in Minnesota. Parker, great to have you on today. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Really good, man. It's just cool to talk to you, and we're really excited to just have this conversation here today. We did a little highlight video for you now up on our Inside the Hashes YouTube, so definitely go check that out. Give it a peek. It'll be on Instagram too as well, and probably linked into this interview when we post it, but we'll get this underway now. But Parker, growing up in the Minneapolis area, how did you fall in love with football and the wide receiver position? Was that something that came directly to you once you learned about the game, that you wanted to catch passes and you wanted to be that guy in the end zone? Or did you just love the game and was willing to play anywhere, and that's just kind of where you ended up?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I've always loved football ever since I was a kid. I was watching, college football with my dad, when I was super little, like a baby, always playing football in the backyard, waiting till I could play in third grade because where I live, you can't play tackle until you're in third grade, right? So, always watching the TV, watching the pros and just wanting to be like them. So, I really fell in love with it third grade when I first got to play, They had me at tight end, actually, and I was actually pretty upset I had to play tight end because I was like, I want to play receiver because I want to be like everybody on TV. I didn't know their names, but I just seen them there doing all these crazy catches and stuff. So, I really fell in love with it like third grade when I really got to play. I fell in love with receiver just because it's so, versatile. You can do it. You can have your own game and be like nobody else, and still, get done what you got to get done, right? So that's why I love receiver, because it's just you can take techniques from one guy and from another guy, and then put them together and make it your own. So that's why
I really like that answer. I think you said a lot of different things that are really specialized in the wide receiver group. But now I'll just kind of talk to you about coming into high school and having the COVID problem and missing probably a season or missing games. How was that for you, coming into high school and, facing kind of these weird circumstances where you weren't really going to get what players at Edina got in the past, just as far as just coming in and getting that regular preseason, season type of deal?
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of people would say COVID was a terrible time, not a great time. For me, though, personally, it was probably one of the best times for growth in my life. I'm not gonna lie, because I used to have kind of like a bad mindset and stuff like that. But when COVID hit, it was just me and myself, and that's right when I started training with Potenza Sports. So I would be on Zoom with them, doing workouts with them in my garage, doing like dumbbell presses, because I had 225 dumbbells, on my wooden bench. I'd be doing, push-ups, all this. Just working hard every day, and I had the time to. Time wasn't a thing during COVID, and I'm fortunate enough to have parents, who are able to stay stable and stuff like that. So I didn't have to worry too much about food, So I was just working hard. I had all the time in the world. I got to work on the mental side of it. As far as the high school football aspect, I still got 10th grade year, I had transferred. I actually used to go to a different school, but then I transferred to Edina. Right, so 10th grade year, I didn't move houses, so I still had to play JV. I was ineligible to play varsity, so I played JV. I had 6 games. I did my thing. Last year was my first varsity season. We didn't really, because the year before we didn't have any time to practice, so it was hard being a team. We didn't start doing stuff till summer, so we're miles behind, so I didn't know too much of my teammates yet because I transferred still, right? So that was tough because we didn't feel like a team, right? But now we got a group of guys. We've been training since our last game. We've been getting prepared since our last game, and now after COVID, all that type of stuff, I'm feeling so good about football this year. We got a whole bunch of guys who are committed. Unlike last year, we're gonna have a great season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, is there definitely a transition? I'm sure there's a difference between last season and this season. And do you kind of see yourself as one of those guys that's a leader in the locker room? And, how do you view yourself doing that? Is it more just shutting your mouth and just doing it on the field and letting your teammates watch you do that? Or is it more just from a vocal standpoint, if you'd like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely say I'm a bit of both. I'm probably one of the most vocal on the team. I'm always breaking out the huddles, giving out good motivational things, for our team to keep going and not get down, But I feel like I am the hardest worker in the weight room. You feel me? So I just want to set an example for the younger kids, because I remember when I was that age and I was looking up to the guys and they were working hard, or if they're slacking off, I would see that, right? So I just think, since I'm one of the team captains, I got all district last year. I was one of the top receivers in the state. I think a couple got, like, all the guys, if not, are looking at me and the other captains on the team and just watching all of our actions, So if I do one bad thing, it could change the whole practice. So, I gotta be positive. I gotta be myself, Sometimes I like to dance in the weight room, just get the energy right.
Yeah, just keep the vibe loose. Yeah, for sure. I get that. Now, you kind of just talked about your game kind of off the field and how you affect the culture of the locker room. But now you were explaining earlier how, at the receiver position, you could take a lot from different people's games and, how you could kind of make yourself your own type of receiver. And how would you describe that receiver of yours? Like, how would you describe yourself if you're watching yourself just scouting from the bleachers? How would you describe the receiver that you are?
Yeah, for sure. I would say I'm very smooth. I feel like I kind of flow like water when I'm running my routes. It's just I feel like I'm very smooth with my routes. I can create separation very well. I have really sure hands, because during COVID, I had my backyard, a ladder, a weight vest, and a football. Yeah. I could work on the ladder, I can work on releases, all that. I throw the ball to myself every night, just catching the football, so that, just doing that every day, it's the repetition that really got me, separated in those aspects, because I feel like I have, really sure hands, really smooth routes, really smooth releases, and I think, but what really separates me is my attitude and my mindset on the field. I take every rep seriously. Even if I lose a rep, I take it as a learning standpoint. I lose a rep. What did you see? What did I do wrong? I go ask the DB, and fix it. So it's always just getting better, having fun with it too.
Yeah, no, for sure. When you're watching your film, that was almost the first word that came to my head was smooth. It's not a crazy explosion of speed or anything, but you get to your spot, and then, when you catch that football, it looks almost effortless, like you said, with your hands. But now I'll kind of ask you, when you transferred schools in high school, obviously that's not the easiest thing to do, especially with having goals of playing collegiate football.
Right.
Have you seen any differences between yourself and the wide receiver that you are now from the wide receiver that you're entering high school as?
Most definitely. I've grown so much. I didn't even think I would be playing varsity football, to be honest with you. That's how bad my mindset was. I'm gonna be honest with you, my mindset wasn't great, right? But now that I'm around better people who have the same goals as me. I was working so hard during COVID, like every day, doing my thing in the backyard for hours, just doing all that type of stuff. And just when I saw growth the first time, I was like, wow, I could, keep growing. So, I just decided to take it from there, kept growing. And, I've grown so much. I was like 5'8". Like, I hadn't hit my growth spurt yet in freshman year, right? So 5'8", like 115, just going into the season. And now I'm 6'2", 180. So, it's just, and I've gotten faster, quicker, smoother. And it's just, I'm just so, happy that I was able to push through and get to the point I'm at right now.
Yeah, for sure. Now I'll give you kind of a chance. You talked about some of the programs that you're working out with and the different people that you're involved with. Were there any coaches or just teammates that really stuck out to you that were able to help you grow as a player recently and just continue to help you grow and potentially reach your goal as playing college football one day?
Yeah, for sure. I would have to say, Coach Hook at Potenza Sports, Coach Q, both really good on the mindset thing. They flipped my mindset right around, and I mean, they got me right physically, mentally, skill-wise, technique-wise. They got me right. Without them, I don't know how far I would have gone. Of course, I did it myself at the same time, but like with them, they really helped because it's hard to do it alone, and that's why I love football. At the same time, it's a team sport.
Yeah.
Like you can't do anything alone in football. That's why it's my favorite sport for sure. And then a couple of players that really we just all push each other. They're all on my team. Brady Anderson, DB on my team. Finn McElroy, my quarterback, Peyton Himley. He's a safety on our team. Like we always on the field. We pushing each other. So, those are the guys who really push me to my limits. Vice versa, I push them.
Yeah. Now I'll ask you this question, Parker. I think this is a pretty good one. Is there any, different kind of goals that you have going into your senior year, just, personally for you and, what you're trying to go out there for, like really with your best opportunity as a high school football athlete, just finally, like you talked about, you guys have been working out together. Locker room is, I'm sure, much better. Culture's much better. But do you have any personal goals for yourself during this year in your final year in high school?
Yeah, for sure. A main goal, just keep it loose, just have fun, do my thing, of course. A couple goals I have them written down. I have them written down over there, but I'm pretty sure one of them is 12 touchdowns, 700 yards receiving. I want to be at least, I think I say 85%. I think at least 85% catching. I also want to get over 40 catches, but I mean, that's also on my QB, because we got a lot of guys who can get open this year. So we all going to be open. Just matter who gets the ball, of course. But those are a couple goals I had for upcoming season.
Now, what would you say is your favorite thing as a wide receiver to do? And then also name your most underrated thing to do as a wide receiver, whether that's blocking, whether that's getting other teammates open, or whether that's just developing a connection with the quarterback and really just being a part of a wide receivers group that's, going out there together and trying to make things happen.
For sure. I would say my favorite thing as a wide receiver is probably just working on my releases and working on my technique, just working on my game. I love the process, especially I learned to love it during COVID. And, if I put in the work, I saw that I could see results, as long as I put in the work, and I could be who I want to be. So definitely just working on my technique, whenever it is, if I'm in the hallway at school, just thinking about it, I just love working on my technique. Underrated thing, you actually said it, is getting other receivers open. It's a team game. We got 11 guys in the field. That's 9% for each of us. Everyone does their job, 100% A+. You feel me? So someone doesn't do their job, that's already a 91%. And then someone else doesn't do their job, it keeps going down. And then, of course, no one does their job, the play doesn't work. If one person doesn't do their job, the play doesn't work. And sometimes as a receiver, you got to block, you got to get others open, because sometimes you are just a decoy. So I think that's my favorite part, because a couple times last year, I got one of my receivers, Brady Anderson, open. And I was just like, gotcha, I was like, yep, I did my job, I felt good about it. That's definitely one of the most underrated things to do as a receiver. You don't always have to get the ball, but you have to always be running full speed like you're about to get the ball.
For sure, I feel that.
Yeah.
Now I'll kind of ask you, did you just kind of give off this vibe that you have an athletic background? And I did a little research and I heard you play a little golf. Is there any other sports or just that you really loved growing up and it's kind of gotten you here and wanted to passionately continue that on into college?
Yeah, growing up, I've played every sport. I played basketball, not too long. I played soccer for a little bit. I played hockey. I played lacrosse. I played basketball in elementary school, but I'm gonna have to say basketball is probably one of my favorite sports right now. That's outside of football, because I'm a one-sport athlete right now. I used to be a three-sport, but then I decided to not play hockey anymore. And then I was gonna do track this year, but also I just wanted to be with the team, in the weight room, because a lot of other guys are doing track. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep the energy in the weight room, right? So next year I'm doing track though. But basketball for sure, because I have a hoop in my driveway, and me and my brother just be, competing at it, because it's so easy to play basketball. You can play basketball anywhere, right? So, we just be seeing who can get the most shots made in a certain amount of shots, or whatever it is. It's so easy to compete in basketball, so for sure.
Yeah, of course. Now looking at your game again, is there anything that you think, kind of gets overlooked in a way where you're like, damn, I'm really good at this, but not a lot of people know I'm good at this, but I'm only gonna get really better at this, and it's gonna be one of my main attributes in the future. Is there anything that you know about your game like that?
I would have to say probably my separation. I think that's probably the best part of my game, but people don't always see that. I think I'm really good at creating separation. I'm not the fastest guy in the world, but I can definitely make a move to make someone go the other way while I'm taking a hard left and wide open.
Yeah, for sure. That kind of leads me into another question I was going to ask, but it always seems like you're able to make the first guy miss a lot of the times. Like, what's your mindset, whether you're running a 5-yard route or a 10-yard route, of, catching the football first, then looking up and, trying to make a move and get downfield? Like, what kind of goes through your head when that's all coming at you so fast?
You know what? It's coming at me so fast, so I don't think of anything.
Yeah, so you don't think.
I don't think at all. Sometimes when you're in the huddle, I'm like, all right, I got this route, and I'm about to do my thing. Like, I just be giving myself like a little like confidence, just talking myself up. But no, I don't think when I'm out there. I just do.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now I'll ask you just kind of a couple more personal questions to finish it off, but explain just having a brother and, kind of just being in that competitive atmosphere. When you have a brother and you have a sibling like that, there's always going to be that type of rivalry, whether you're playing the same sport or not. Yeah. That competitiveness just makes you more of a warrior when you get out on the field. And, can you kind of explain to the audience how maybe that's impacted you and, turned you more into an animal once you get out on the turf?
Yeah, for sure. It's always brotherly love. We always, we sometimes fighting a little bit, whatever. It's what it is, but everything's a competition. Whether it's racing to the car, whether it's who can finish their food first. I don't know. It's always a competition. It's always something in the house, We're always chipping at the bit to win a competition, So that's probably just always being in a competitive environment. I mean, it's a good thing for the field, It's just a good thing to bond. For me and my brother, we're super close. My brother Ethan and I, he plays hockey though, so we both play different sports. Mm-hmm. So we like to play each other in our sports,
Yeah.
And have a little
fun. You get to go support each other eventually too. So there's a really good dynamic with that. Yeah. Just to kind of wrap this up now, just one final question. It's almost a two-parter, but looking at days like now, in the summertime, August, kind of when things are starting to roll around, could you break down a week for us, maybe just training wise for you, and then maybe also break down a week in season for you, Friday leading up to a game, and how you kind of go about that until Friday nights and the lights kick on?
Yeah, for sure. Going through the week, especially in the summer, we have we have school practices and stuff. So I'll get up, eat a good breakfast, some eggs, some hash browns, some sausage, get ready for the day. Of course, I like to take cold showers. That's one thing that not a lot of people do, I think, but I take cold showers because just having that adrenaline shock out of nowhere in the morning, I think just makes you a lot more alert for the day, right? So that's one thing I do to prepare for the week, or prepare for the day, I guess, I'll go to practice, do my thing, have fun with the guys. I'll come home. I usually eat right after practice. I'll chill, and then I'll have training later that night, or later in the afternoon. It's usually late in the afternoon, like 3 to 4 in the afternoon. I'll come home, I'll chill, I'll eat, and then later that night I'll go to my backyard, do some cone drills or ladder drills just to work my technique, or I'll just go to the turf, and work on speed. And that's Monday through Friday. Besides we only have practice 2 times a week, or in lifting 4 times a week. So on Fridays, I don't have lift in the morning, but I'll still do the other 2 things. And I also doing all that work, you're gonna get sore and tired. So, I gotta recover. I got a yoga mat in my room. I'll be doing yoga, ice baths and stuff like that. I got a horse trough or something in the back of my yard right now. And I'll just be getting there sometimes in the summer if I'm really feeling it, taking ice baths and stuff. On the weekends too, I'm always doing something on the weekends. It's training. It's training Saturday and Sunday. I let myself sleep in a little bit on the weekends. I train around right after lunch or right before lunch, so I can have my evenings to do what I want to with the family, with friends. Same thing Sunday. I'll get back to it Monday. And then you said in season too, right? Yeah. So in season, we have school. So, I'll be doing schoolwork after school. Practice. Schoolwork after practice, and then, practice.
Yeah.
Some days I'll train, like maybe one day in the week I'll go to Potenza, train a little bit. And then especially on Thursdays, I have this, I'm not a superstitious guy. I feel like if you think like that, you're going to get a little too nervous. If you think something has to be the right way, so I'm not a superstitious guy, but I like to take, my dad, he makes a fire in the backyard, I make my ice bath, just make sure my body's totally ready and my mind as well. Just being able to be with family like that and just talk about the game. That's Friday. So that's what I'd be doing in season.
Yeah, for sure. No, it definitely sounds like it. You know what you want to do. You know what you need to do before in the off season and in season for sure. But one last question to kind of wrap this up. But I had to notice your TikTok channel. How do you view that in terms of just continuing on, possibly in college, and maybe what do you plan wise just are going to study in college? Is there any ideas for you personally right now, or you just trying to focus on your game and seeing how far that could take you?
Yeah, for sure. I like that you asked that question, because COVID, as I said, I had all the time in the world. So it wasn't just football. I took it to the next level, and really I taught myself how to edit and stuff with Adobe After Effects, Adobe Premiere Pro, all that type of stuff. I taught myself how to edit off of YouTube, right? And then I was like, it's nice to edit, but I kind of want to post it somewhere. I don't just want to edit these videos for myself. So, this is right. I got a computer the December before March of the COVID. So December 2019, for Christmas, I got a computer. I got the editing software. I was like, oh man, it's going to be fun. I just learned everything for 4 months every day, because school was starting to shut down. I was just teaching myself.
Yeah.
I decided to make a TikTok account, right? And I just started posting my edits on there, just having fun with it, doing the trends on TikTok and stuff, just having a fun time, because there wasn't much to do during COVID.
No. And
then it turned into something more serious where, I gained 10,000 followers. People were really loving my stuff. I was like, whoa, I could take this somewhere.
Yeah. So,
I started, the videos I make, it would take 7-8 hours to make, because almost all afternoon, all the way up until I had to go to bed, right? So I was just doing all that, and then eventually it took me up to 400,000 followers, and I was like, wow. And then that's where I'm at now. So where I really want to take it, I just want to keep posting for my followers. I'm trying to transition my content a little into more football stuff, but still editing, because that's what I like to do. And then especially in college, I like to look into digital art, and then especially business as well. So, that's probably where I want to take that.
Yeah, for sure. It was really great talking to you today, Parker. I feel like we talked about a lot of different things today, and it just proves that you got your mindset ready, and I'm really excited to see what you do in your senior year. And again, I just want to thank you for coming on today. Parker Durkin, guys, watch out. This is senior year coming up. I'm hoping for big things. I'm excited for you, man. Thanks for coming on today. It was a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.